Happy lateral filing deadline day to everyone here on the committees. This is the Joint Committees on Health and Homelessness, Corrections, Military, and Veterans. This is Thursday, February 15th, 2024, 10:45 a.m., conference room 329. Members, we're here for decision-making on two bills. I will be deferring the House Bill 1941 to 11:30 Health Committee members at our normal time. And then we're taking up House Bill 2084 relating to homelessness for the Committees on Health and Homelessness and Committee on Corrections, Military, and Veterans. Members, House Bill 2084, Chair's recommendation is to pass out a House Draft 1, where the overall change to this bill is to convert it to a task force with a blank appropriation to DOT, noting in the committee report a $5 million request. The specific amendments include at pages 2, lines 17 to 20, editing the language to say there is established a vacated encampment cleanup task force within the Department of Transportation, which shall identify parcels of land that require intergovernmental coordination to clean up vacated homeless encampments located on lands managed by government agencies, including but not limited to the United States Army Garrison, Hawaii, creating a subsection outlining the duties and responsibilities of the task force that captures the task on pages 4 through 5 of the original bill, which includes consulting with relevant agencies, entering into memorandum of understanding to coordinate cleanup activities at vacated encampments, notifying government agencies, relevant stakeholders, and elected officials where cleanups will occur within 48 hours of identifying a vacated encampment on government property, initiating cleanup activities only after encampments have been confirmed to be vacated, and prioritizing the removal of biohazards, hazardous materials, and items posing immediate public health or safety risk, including materials that could be fire hazards, and commencing cleanup activities after the relevant government agency has consulted with the state coordinator on homelessness and has determined that the appropriate period of vacancy has elapsed. The task force shall be chaired by the Department of Transportation's homelessness coordinator, and we are creating language to identify the membership of the task force as follows: Governor's coordinator on homelessness, the chairperson of the DLNR or the chair's designee, a representative from the United States Army Garrison, Hawaii, to be invited and not mandated to participate in the task force by the director of the DOT, and any other members, including representatives from state agencies, elected officials, community stakeholders, as recommended by the majority of the task force. Creating a subsection having the task force report back to the legislature 20 days before the 2025 and 2026 legislative sessions, deleting appropriation language to DLNR, but keeping the appropriation language for DOT, any tech amendments identified by HMSO, and a defective date. Members, questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Members voting on HB 2084, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Amato?
Aye.
Representative Iligan? Aye. Representative Kobayashi is excused. Representative Martin is excused. Representative Nishimoto?
Aye.
Representative Garcia?
Aye.
Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, CMV committee, same recommendations. Any comments or concerns? Please don't ask me to read.
Please repeat the amendments.
Okay, can you please read the amendments again?
I will.
Slowly.
No, I'm just kidding. I just want to know if the other chair knew what the amendments are.
Yes, I do. Tech amendments.
Go ahead.
Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, members, we are voting on House Bill 2084. Recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair will vote aye. Representative Ganadin?
Aye.
Representative Ichiyama?
Aye.
Representative Mizuno?
Aye.
Representative Morikawa?
Aye.
Representative Poipoi? Representative Takayama is excused, and Representative Souza.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Members, we are in recess. Good morning. Reconvening our committees on health and homelessness and human services. Today is Thursday, February 15, 2024, for an 11 o'clock a.m. agenda. We are here in conference room 329. Anyone in Zoom? Yes. Okay. For DHS on Zoom, if we should lose you, please, we will renotice the hearing and we'll adjourn and renotice. Please stay in contact with our tech staff and make sure there's no copyrighted material on your Zoom background. Members, this is our House Bill 408 HD1 relating to health, which would authorize one additional person in the certified community care foster family homes. Members, we have testimony with comments from the Department of Human Services.
Good morning, chairs. I apologize, I can't actually see on my screen who's there. Good morning. On behalf of the Department of Human Services and Director Betts, I'm Judy Moore-Peterson testifying, and we stand on our written comments, appreciating the intent and offering comments as to the effect. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. We have next up support. Actually, we have comments in support from the Department of Health.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. Lauren Kim, Planning and Policy Officer for DOH. The department supports the intent of this measure and looks forward to contributing to an ongoing conversation about how we can support the all-of-the-above strategy we need to solve homelessness in our community. We do want to share some comments and recommendations that will make the bill more effective. The first issue we'd like to bring to your attention is what we think is an inadvertent drafting error that repeals Act 30 SLH 2017. This allows two private paid couples to be in a CCFFH if they're married. Those of us who were around back in the day know what a strong community reaction to Mr. Kawamoto and his wife, and we do not want to see any other married couples currently in CCFFHs evicted, so we recommend its repeal. I'm going to move on. Staff-to-client ratios is a major issue, and we've provided some amendments, partial amendments, that make sure that additional staffing is available as these scale up to 4 beds. This is extremely important for life safety. If there is a fire, we need everybody out at the same time. We need people to understand that there may be oxygen in the room. Yes, this does increase cost, but we'll get to that in a sec. And the last major recommendation we have to make this bill as effective as possible is for a vetting and evaluation process for clients. If we are offering up these spaces or referring people who have housing insecurity to CCFFHs, we want to make sure that the current residents who are by definition vulnerable, as well as the operators, are safe, make sure they have no history or propensity for violence, communicable diseases. We think that needs to be done by a certified homelessness services provider or somebody who basically knows what they're doing. The last bit of information we'd like to share with the committee, it's not in our testimony, but we will make it available to you, is as of January 2024, there are about 1,200 CCFFHs. There is a total open bed inventory of 522. That's a vacancy rate of 40%. The vast majority, I'm talking 430 out of 520, are on Oahu. On the neighbor islands, the open bed inventory are double digits, anywhere from 10 to 50. So we definitely see need on the neighbor island. There is inventory on the island of Oahu, but I think if we can set up a strong referral and vetting system, we can kind of fill those up more quickly than if we needed to make sure that there are staffing parity. And so the other comment I'll make is that if this law moves forward and authorizes 4-bed CCFFHs with concomitant staff increases, this will increase the complexity of regulating them, and the department may need resources. The more CCFFHs, the more complaints we will get in. Some of those complaints will be, the food is not good, my bed is lumpy, but we are obligated to respond. And some of them will be serious, of course. And just the more there are, the more there will be. And so there is a need for more staffing. We just don't know what that is yet. We need to maybe get a sense of how the CCFFH operators will be responding and what kind of supports we put into place to refer people who are experiencing housing insecurity to them. And of course, surveys will be more complex and take longer just from the complexity of 2 versus 3 versus 4 and the increased numbers. So there will be an undetermined general fund appropriation, likely some FTE, just to include surveyors for the Office of Healthcare Assurance. So with that, we are here to be a partner in this solution. This is part of an all-of-the-above answer that we need, and we hope the legislature will examine our recommendations to make this measure more effective and to help out our ohana in Hawaii. Thank you, and we're available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. We have testimony and support from the State Homelessness Coordinator.
Thank you. Good morning, Aloha. I just wanted to thank Chair Belatti and your committee members for hearing this bill and working with Governor's office. This is a priority for Governor, and I don't want to take credit. I was actually using the term homelessness, and Governor, with his wisdom, had indicated that should be people facing housing instability. Wanted to make sure he gets credit for that. We have a concern with illegal care homes. I think if we can pass a measure like this, we will continue to support our community care foster family homes that are registered with the state. They're certified, they're licensed, we're good to go. I do agree, that was the Kawamoto bill that Lauren Kim was talking about, that we passed 4 or 5 years ago, a bill that I actually wrote. So we would like to unstrike what I inadvertently did a strike through on. I apologize, that was my mistake, 100%. And you heard Mr. Kim say we've got 1,200 community care foster family homes out there, 40% vacancy rate. I mean, just imagine if each one of those care homes took one homeless person. I think that's what we're up against. The last point in time count indicated that there was 6,223 homeless in the state. Many people think this is an unwinnable battle. But I think if we work and come up with out-of-the-box solutions, we can successfully manage homelessness once and for all. But I wanted to thank all the committee members here for allowing me to speak, and thank you, Chair Belatti, for the short form bill. Appreciate you. And I'm here for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mizuno. We have testimony in support from the Adult Foster Home Care Association of Hawaii. Testimony in support from the Alliance of Professional Primary Care. So it was either Maribel Tan or Elma Vieira. Members, we have numerous testimonies from individuals in support, including testimony that was provided late. Any other testifiers in the room? Any testifiers via Zoom? Seeing none, members' questions. I have a question for Mr. Kim. I really appreciate the amendments that you set forward to us, and that it will help strengthen the bill. The amendment regarding the primary caregiver being a certified nurse's aide and the substitute caregiver is a certified nurse aide with completed state-approved training programs. Are these homes currently structured where the primary caregivers and substitute caregivers are CNAs with approval?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So when a primary caregiver goes on vacation or needs respite, it's unacceptable for someone of lower certification to step in. I'm sorry,
Okay.
did I misspeak? Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
think you might have, yes.
My understanding, and I apologize, the supervisor for this section is actually out today, but
And your name is?
I'm sorry, my name is Debbie Kim Morikawa, and I'm the Deputy Director for Health Resources, so I oversee OCA. We don't currently have a chief, and the supervisor for this particular branch is out today. However, my understanding is that with the 2-bed CCFFHs, the substitute caregiver does not have to be a CNA. However, when there was a bill for the 3-person and those rules were revised, that one required that substitute caregiver be a CNA. So that discrepancy, actually, I think there was a bill moving that was asking that the 3-bed CCFFH would be comparable to the 2-bed. And In fact, we would prefer that the reverse occur, that we need to go in and change that the two-bed also, the substitute caregiver needs to be a CNA.
Okay, so what I'd like to know is that of these 1,200 CCFHs that may be taking on 3 Medicaid patient, or 3 patients in the current system,
Yes.
how many of those kinds of homes do you have?
So of the 3 beds, we have 679.
Care homes that are qualified to do that?
Yes.
Okay. In that 600, well, I ask these questions because what I want us to be able to do is that if we are going to move forward with this, I don't want to put additional regulations that are going to stall this out by like another 6 to 8 months. If of these 679, they have this already substitute caregiver as a certified nurse's aide, so it aligns.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Is there anything else in the proposed amendments, either Mr. Kim or Ms. Morikawa, that would add something more burdensome that already exists for the 3 beds?
Not for the 3 beds. However, if you move to the 4, what we're saying is, in the amendments, is that we do want one caregiver that's going to be available for every non-self-preserving individual. So that means that if somebody is not able to get out of the facility on their own and they need someone to assist them out, there needs to be a person available for each person that's non-preserving.
Okay,
Now,
that's fair enough.
and then the other one was that if you go up to 4, we're looking at having 2 CNAs available for care versus with the 3-bed, there's only 1.
Okay, that now, where is that in your, because that seems like a little bit more,
Yes, it is. And it's because you're talking about an intermediate care facility level of care as opposed to the arch level of care. So I believe that section, I don't know, Lauren, you might be able to find this faster than me. A second caregiver who is a certified nurse aide as defined in section 457A-1.5, who has completed so we're saying that a second caregiver is needed during the day between the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
that is at page,
That is page 8, the last page.
Last page, the Ramsayer amendment, page 8.
okay. We'll take a look at these amendments and determine what will be adopted. I think that this is a conversation that needs to continue. I also think that we can have reports back to the legislature for the next 2 years at least, because the hope is that we can initiate this process
Okay,
and not put up too many barriers.
I understand.
But still balance, of course, safety and health, because that is what we want. The alternative is many of the kupuna that might be able to be helped with this, their alternative is not a positive alternative.
Although I do want to emphasize that we actually have a large number of vacancies now. So it's not that the beds are not available. So if Kupuna is looking for a CCFFH, we have 552 beds available for them as of January of this year.
Okay. All right. And the majority of those on Oahu? Okay. 433. Okay. All right, members, any other questions? Seeing none, we are going to recess for decision-making at 11:30. We are in recess. Good morning. Reconvening our Committee on Health for our 11:30 a.m. decision-making agenda. We have on that, let me back that up. Reconvening our 11-hour, 10.
11 o'clock.
11 a.m.
No. Okay, we're gonna reconvene our 10:45 a.m. Committee on Health agenda. That takes up House Bill 1941, making an emergency appropriation to the Department of Health to implement quality improvement recommendations for the Hawaii State Hospital. Members, we heard a lot of conversation about the governor's message that is supposed to be coming down. Chair's recommendation is going to be to pass out an HD1 that conforms a blank amount of full-time equivalent positions that reflects the GM's that is going to come down, and I believe it's about 14 positions, members, that amount to about $2.152 million. We're going to put that into the section on page 2. We're going to retain item 5 for, actually, no, we'll strike item 5 because, and we'll leave that blank for salary for newly created full-time equivalent positions. We're going to strike the appropriation for dietary services, keep the appropriation for telecommunications and networking upgrades, include an appropriation for the guard shack, which we have at about $700,000 that was provided by the Department of Health. Members, I'm also going to make a change. When I was previously chair, there is a special fund, a mental health and substance abuse special fund, HRS 334-15, which at the time that I was previously chair, I believe there was about $20 million to $50 million in there. So those are funds specifically that should be used for these kinds of contracts and fixes at the state hospital and within the AMHD system of care. I'm going to make ask HMSO to put in the appropriate funding subsections to allow for access to the special fund and then release from the special fund for this appropriation request. Any technical amendments for consistency, clarity, and style identified by HMSO, blanking out the appropriations, making it upon approval, and keeping the language. Actually, we can now strike the language of exceeding the general fund because these funds will come from the special fund. Members, comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on HB 1941, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Amato?
Aye.
Representative Iligan? Aye. Representative Kobayashi?
Aye.
Representative Martin?
Aye.
Representative Nishimoto? Aye. Representative Garcia? Aye. Chair recommendation is adopted.
Members, we are adjourning this hearing, reopening our 11 a.m. Joint Committee on Health and Homelessness and Human Services. Chair's recommendation for House Bill 408 is to adopt in part, HD1, adopt in part the amendments offered by Department of Health in as much as these preserve the previous third person, as well as provides additional safeguards and assessments for the addition of a fourth person. We are not going to adopt at page 8 of the Department of Health's recommendations, subsection 3. Member, any technical amendments identified by HMSO for style, consistency, and clarity, and a defective date. Members, any questions, comments, or concerns?
I just wanted to confirm that your fourth person will only be somebody who is facing housing instability, and that will be clear in the amendment,
Yes,
right?
that is clear in the amendment. Perfect. Members, any further comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for Health for the vote.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry. So Health Committee members, for Health Committee vote, HB 408, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Amato?
Aye.
Representative Iligan? Aye. Representative Kobayashi?
Aye.
Representative Martin? Aye. Representative Nishimoto? Aye. Representative Garcia? Aye. Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Chair of Human Services, your vote.
Same recommendation for Human Services. Vice Chair, please take the vote.
Thank you, Chair. Committee on Human Services voting on HD 408, HD1. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Bellotti?
Aye.
Representative Iligan? Aye. Representative Kobayashi?
Aye.
Representative Takanuchi?
Aye.
Representative Nishimoto? Aye. Representative Garcia? Aye. Thank you, Chair. Your recommendation is adopted.
We're adjourned. Happy lateral day, all. Bye. See you on the floor.